HTTV in association with Absolute Warehouse Services. Danny, we're speaking ahead of the game against Nottingham Forest. You've just come obviously back into the starting lineup after your injury. How are you feeling physically now?
Yeah, it was 5 weeks since the first start against Wigan from the Preston game, and it's frustrating because I was, obviously no pre-season. I got a lot of games and putting a good run together, but I think the no pre-season maybe contributed to that because we had a lot of games in short succession. It was frustrating and not to be out there with the lads. But yeah, it was great to come back and and be involved against Charlton at the end of the game. And I'd not had many training sessions, but it was good. I think the Wigan game for me was just, I needed that 90 minutes in my legs. I didn't feel anywhere near myself, but it was more about just getting back out there and getting the minutes into my legs.
And you've had a full week of training now ahead of this game. How's that helped?
Yeah, massively. I felt good today. I think the 90 minutes Wigan has basically set me up, and then this week's been a good week of training. So yeah, I felt good today, and I think hopefully back to myself tomorrow.
During that spell when you were out injured, a lot of the younger lads were recalled. Obviously we needed more numbers. How have you helped them settle in? Just give them my advice, and it's we've all been there. Obviously the ones that are obviously senior players, we've all been there, and sometimes that's how you get your chance, by injuries to the squad, injuries to certain players in your position. And when I was young, I was fortunate and that the senior players gave me advice and kind of settled the nerves. So I'm trying to do the same for them. And yeah, they're in and around the squad anyway, so they know us. It's not like they've just come out of nowhere. They train with us, and it's just basically just play your game, and you know what you're doing. Just don't overcomplicate it, and just give your best for the team, and no one will ever say anything. I'm thinking specifically D'Amico Dehaney, obviously, who made his Sky Bet Championship debut against Leeds, and then Romani Edmonds-Green, who's normally a centre-back and played right-back against Charlton. For them, it's quite a big moment. It
is. You just said it there, there was two within 4 or 5 days of each other at right-back, and they both done well. I said, to come in at home against Leeds for DD, that in itself was a challenge for him, and he done well. Unlucky for him, he didn't feel well for the Tuesday at Charlton, but Rams again came in and he done well. So it's good for the future of Huddersfield and for the squad. And I said, it's for them as well. Now they've got the first games out of the way, and I think once that's out of the way, then you can look forward.
Obviously, during that period, it was 4 points from 2 tough away games. Yeah. The performance against Wigan obviously wasn't one that we'd want to produce again, but equally, 4 points from 2 games is a good return.
Yeah, and listen, you're not going to play well every game. It's as simple as that. And as long as you analyse it and you look at the game, and we all talk about the negatives. And we all agree with the negatives. That's the most important thing. But like you said, yeah, 4 points, 2 away games in 4 days is against anyone in this league is good going. And like you said, it's 4 points from 2 games when we off the back of I think not winning in 4. I think was important for the group with all the other things going against us, and Charlton, getting to the stadium late. There's a lot of things that went against us. You're not going to make excuses, but it just showed the character in the group. And then the Wigan game, like you said, I don't think we had our best game, but we still come away with a point. Which I think if you go back to overtime, maybe start of the season, you come away with nothing. So yeah, now we've got 2 games now, and we want to kick on from there.
Yeah, Nottingham Forest, obviously the first one of those. What do you expect from them?
Listen, obviously they've got good players. They're a good team. I think there's expectation on them most seasons, but I think more this season. Obviously, we know the full-backs give them a lot of width, and I think crosses and a lot of goals from that area. So they've got Samuel. I know Sammy Obi from my Newcastle days, and there's I know Johan Benalarin. I think he's been injured, but no, I think off the back of their result last week, their fans, the team, the manager, the players won't be happy with that result. I think it was 4-0, so we're expecting a reaction from them. So yeah, the fact that we're expecting a reaction from them, they'll be coming to our place to try and make amends, and we've got to expect that and be ready from the first whistle.
You mentioned it there, a lot of their threat comes from the wide areas, the fullbacks overlapping, creating overloads. How hard as a team have we worked on that in training?
No, we've looked at it. We've been on the grass, and we've worked on that, and we will come up with the best, with our ways of what we think is the best way to stop that. But again, it's football, and that might not come. That plan might not happen, and if there's another plan, then we've got to adapt, and that's just how football is. And but yeah, fundamentally, we've worked on that, and hopefully we can stop what we consider is their main threat. Then we've also got our main threats to try and hurt them back.
And the Nottingham Forest game is the club's scarf game. Obviously, throughout your career, when you've come out onto the pitch, you've seen visual spectacles in stadiums. What's that like as a player?
Well, it was a big thing at Leicester, and it just creates a better atmosphere for everyone, the fans included, the players, coming out and seeing that. And sometimes there's moments in you coming out to play a game, and for whatever reason you just don't feel right, and then that can just give you a lift. It might only be 5%, but that 5% can then turn your performance from a 6 to a 7 and an 8 individually, which then helps the team. But no, I just think it creates it's English football, and that's what I like to see. And like I said, I've seen that a lot at Leicester. So yeah, hopefully everyone bring the scarves and create the best atmosphere that they can.
Obviously, in your career, you've had a lot of Christmas periods where you know how busy the schedule is. Some of the lads in the dressing room have had some experience of it, but not completely. Games are coming thick and fast. Recovery is important, but also mentally as well, isn't it?
Yeah, as I said, some lads will be new to this. Some of us not so much. But I think for me, Christmas periods are quite important. If you can get through that with as many points as possible, it sets up the second half of the season. And I think the first one's important. That's the first one of 4, I think now. So, and we're at home. So for us, we wanna play well. But I think if we can get the 3 points, and then that just sets you up nicely for the Christmas period. And again, like I said, we're 2 games undefeated now, 4 points. It's about getting runs and trying to build runs like we did, a couple of months ago. And I said, let's at home, and let's crack on against Forest.